Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Starting with the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. We were in our talk about the epidemiology. We saw different aspects of observational and experimental epidemiology, and then we saw the sampling techniques. Of the sampling techniques, we saw the obviously the probability sampling, and then the non-probability sampling. Out of the probability sampling, we saw the simple random sample, systematic random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster sampling, and then non-probability sampling. Out of non-probability, it was convenience or haphazard sampling, judgment or purposive sampling. Then it was quota or proportional sampling, and finally the snowball type of sampling, in which one person identifies the other person to be examined. The overall achievement of this study was that we will first try the probability sampling by all means, all of its four types, and if no one is fitting into our study, then we will go for the non-probability sampling. And then in the non-probability sampling, we will always try to avoid the bias. And bias is the obviously the I can say the error which can result into error of the study, and errors in the measurement of the disease are because of different types. Those are the random error and systematic error. Random error is by chance, and the systematic error obviously is a bias. And bias are different types. That is the design bias, bias in handling outliers, bias due to instrumental error, interviewer's bias, lead time bias, observer's bias, bias in publication, recall bias, reporting bias, sampling bias, selection bias. All those are systematic errors are called bias because of for our studies. Then is the assessment of the outcome. For the assessment of the outcome, we may attempt to avoid the bias or the effect on the outcome by making a different type of trial, and that was the random trial. We have seen the random trial, and now is the single blind trial, double blind trial, and triple blind trial. Obviously, where the participant is not aware of where is being kept in the control group or study group. Then is obviously in the double blind trial, where the study researcher and the investigator and the participant is not aware where in which group to which group they belong. And of course the triple blind trial, where the participant, investigator and the analyst, they are all ignorant to which group one participant belongs. Now out of those errors, finishing those errors, then the confounding variables. This is my last talk regarding the applied epidemiology, and I believe you are all in emotion for the exams. I was with you, and let me finish it, then I talk the ending statement. So confounding refers to the mixing of the effect of an extraneous variable with the effects of the exposure and the disease of interest. So confounding means where we have certain unknown factor, or we have certain other factor, or I can say the factor causing the disease, but we are not aware. We are studying one factor, and in fact there is another factor which is causing the disease. We believe that the lung cancer may be because of people living in bad environment, people living in the polluted environment, but by chance it is found that by the discovery of the confounding variable, we find that the disease is because of the smoking first, and then maybe because of any other reason. So confounding variable, maybe it is a variable which actually is causing the disease, but we are not aware of it. We are looking for some other. We put some other variable at the top, but the other variable which has been neglected is the cause of the disease, and that is confounding variable. So confounding refers to the mixing of the effect of an extraneous variable with the effects of the exposure and the disease of the interest. It is variable that can cause or prevent the outcome of interest, is not an intermediate variable and is not associated with the factor under investigation. A confounding variable may either strengthen or weaken the apparent relationship between the problem and the possible cause. So it may be a helping hand to the cause we are studying, but the main cause is a confounding variable which was not kept in the study. So because this another or third factor exists in the study population and is associated with both the disease and the initial factor being studied, we are studying one factor and we think it is responsible for the disease, but suddenly we realize that the confounding variable is responsible for the disease. It diminishes, masks, or the reverses the association under study. Such a variable must be controlled in order to obtain an undistorted estimate of the effect of the study factor on the risk factor. A variable must be controlled in order to obtain an undistorted estimate of the effect of the study factor on risk. For example, the incidence of cirrhosis of liver is associated with cigarette smoking, but smoking does not cause the liver cirrhosis. As heavy drinkers tend to be heavy smokers, the excessive consumption of alcohol is the likely cause of cirrhosis, but not the smoking. A relationship is shown between the low levels of mother's education and nutrition in under 5 years children. However, family income may be related to mother's education as well as to the malnutrition. So main cause of the we were studying the education level of the mother, but in fact the confounding variable or the main variable or the definitive variable responsible for the disease is in fact the family income. For a variable to be considered a potential confounder, it must satisfy two conditions. Then how we can say that this variable is a confounder variable or the responsible variable? It must satisfy two conditions. So to declare a factor, a variable as a confounding variable, it must satisfy two conditions, and the conditions are association between the disease of interest in the absence of exposure. One, the variable we were studying, if that is absent and still the disease is there, then we can say that the confounding variable may be the cause. That is the association with the exposure, but not as a consequence of the exposure. It may be associated with the exposure, but not as a consequence of the other exposure of the other variable. So if two things are satisfied, then we can say the third component was a confounding variable. Then next is the association and causation. The term association or the relationship are often used interchangeably. Association is occurrence of the two variables more often than would be expected by chance. Two variables occurring together than would be expected by chance. So events are said to be associated when they occur more frequently together than one would expect by chance. Association does not necessarily imply a causal relationship. This association may be due to causal relationship or due to a chance, bias, confounding or non-causal relationship. Then the causal inference from epidemiological studies is derived to identify disease, etiology, effective treatment and preventive strategy. Association may be of three types. So to declare association between the cause and disease, we need to satisfy the causal inference from epidemiological studies is derived to identify the disease etiology, effective treatment and preventive strategy. Those are helpful for any research. Any research result is helpful to those things, and the association will be helpful if we find the variables. So association may be of three types. First is direct, one-to-one or multifactorial, maybe multiple to one disease. Indirect or spurious. So first of all, one-to-one or causal relationship. One-to-one causal relationship. Two variables A and B are causally related. A change in A is followed by a change in B when factor A is present. The disease B must result. Conversely, when the disease is present, the factor must also be present. So A and B are the causes of the disease. A is present, B is present, and disease is there. And a change in A is followed by a change in B when factor A is present. So the disease B must be the result. So that means one-to-one relationship. Then the multifactorial causation. Multifactorial causation is usually in case of non-communicable diseases, chronic heart disease or other diseases where etiology is multifactorial. Those factors act independently or jointly to produce the disease. May be associated So multifactorial causation, in multifactorial causation we see multiple factors causing a single disease, and those factors act independently or jointly and produce the disease. In spurious type, or the third type of direct association or causation of the disease, in this type we are not very much concerned with we are not very much directed towards the variable. We know that 4 out of 2 variables are present and those may cause disease, or 2 out of 5 factors if those are present, those may cause disease, and still that is again a direct type of association between the disease and the variables, and that is called direct association. Then is the indirect or non-causal association. Many associates which at first appear to be causal are found on further study to be due to indirect association. The indirect association, first of all, we blamed something as we have been studying in confounding variable, that first we blamed the lack of education, the low level of education of the mother for the malnutrition of children under 5 years of age. But later on we picked up a definitive variable, and we saw that the family income is the definitive cause. So at that stage we can say that the first association was there, but later on we realized but that indirect association is there, but direct association is not there for the children under 5 years of age to be malnourished. Indirect association is a statistical association between a characteristic variable of interest and a disease due to the presence of another factor which is common to both characteristics and the disease. The third factor, or the common factor, is also known as a confounding variable. For example, sucrose and chronic heart disease. In a study, it was found that there was a high intake of sugar by the patients with myocardial infarctions. According to this, people who consume a lot of sugar are far more likely to have heart attack than those who take little. Further, investigations were undertaken and was found that sugar intake was associated with other variable, that is cigarette smoking, which is causally related to the chronic heart disease. Heavy cigarette smoking was positively associated with an increase in the number of cups of hot drinks consumed daily and the amount of sugar consumed. So it was cigarette smoking, not the sugar consumption, which was mixed up in the etiology of the chronic heart disease. So we can say that the sugar intake may be an indirect or non-causal association with chronic heart disease. Same as the high altitude and endemic goiter. In endemic goiter is mostly found in high altitude, and in high altitude areas there is deficiency of iodine which cause endemic goiter, not the high altitude which causes the disease. But the high altitude is an indirect non-causal associated factor variable which is actually related to the deficiency of iodine in those people who have got endemic goiter. Then is the artificial or spurious association, sometimes an observed association between a disease and suspected factor may not be the real one. it is a false or fictitious association that can result from chance occurrence or from some bias in the study methods. For example, a study in UK of 5,174 births at home and 11,156 at hospitals showed prenatal mortality of 5.4 per 1,000 in at home births and 70 at 27.8 per 1,000 in the hospital. I beg your pardon, I repeat it, 5.4 per 1,000 at home and 27.8 per 1,000 in the hospitals. This is surprising. It seems as if those people who delivered the babies at home were more safer than those who did the same in the hospitals. Apparently, the prenatal mortality was higher in hospital births than in the home births. So it might be concluded that the homes are safer place for delivery of births than hospitals. But such a conclusion is spurious or fake or distorted. In general hospitals, actually general hospitals attract women at high risk for the delivery because of their special equipment and expertise. Whereas this is not the case with the home deliveries. The people who actually high natal mortality was due to this factor and also other factors such as the difference in age parity, perinatal care, home circumstances, general health and disease state between the two groups. Actually, this level of services of the hospital attracted the complicated cases for delivery to the hospitals, and that is why the mortality was more in those hospitals than those who were at home. So this type of bias is because like is not compared with like. Selection, this by all means a selection bias. The criteria is not fitting into the study, because at one stage, one variable being applied at hospital, another variable being applied at home. Then is the association and causation and the cause of the disease. So a characteristic event, condition or combination of those factors which produce or influence the probability of an outcome, and understanding of the cause of the disease is important not only for prevention and also for the correct diagnosis and treatment, that we all know. Then is the necessary cause, when a disease or a condition of interest cannot develop in its absence. By all means, the variable and the disease relation must be a definitive one. By all means, it should be proved by all studies that this factor is responsible for the cause of such a disease. Then is the necessary cause, then is the sufficient cause. One was the necessary cause, which is a must to be present when the disease is there, and then is the sufficient cause, when it inevitably produces or initiates an effect or disease. Each sufficient cause has a necessary cause component. Any given cause may be sufficient, necessary, neither or both. If a relationship is causal, 4 types of causal relationships are possible. First, 4 types of relations between the disease and the cause, and sufficient to be labeled as the cause of the disease for a variable. So number 1, criteria to be the types for the sufficient cause. So X is necessary and sufficient to cause Y. So both X and Y are always present together and nothing but X is needed to cause Y. X leads to Y. That means measles is caused by a virus. Virus is present and measles is caused. Then is the 2, sufficient cause. Second criteria, X is necessary but not sufficient to cause Y. X must be present when Y is present, but Y is not always present when X is present. The variable factor, the variable may cause disease but may not cause disease. X is present. When Y is present, X must be present, and when X is present, it is not must that it always causes Y. Some additional factors must be present with X, and that will cause the disease or will cause Y. So that means X and Z jointly can cause Y, and the example is tuberculosis. So the agent tuberculosis bacilli is present in a malnourished person will cause disease. So X is the organism and Y is the environment, malnourished person, weak person, young or old age person, so whatever it may be, that is Z to cause Y, that is tuberculosis. Then is the third criteria for the sufficient cause: X is not necessary but sufficient to cause Y. Y is present when X is, but X may or may not be present when Y is present. So that is where the chronic heart disease develops because of certain different factors. May not be a single factor, and that is the lipid profile, but other factors like high blood pressure, like sugar intake, like diabetes mellitus, may the family factors, the other factors, so those are present. So if X is say for example high lipid profile, then Y is a disease. So X and others may be Z, may be other factors like age, like high blood pressure may cause jointly or may be the cause of the disease. So see it again, the third factor: X is not necessary but sufficient to cause Y. Y is present when X is, but X may or may not be present when Y is present, because Y has other causes and can occur without X. So X leads to Y, X leads to Y, Z leads to Y, other factors also lead to Y. So an enlarged spleen or chronic heart disease may be because of, not only because of one factor, may be because of another factors, as is the case with an enlarged spleen can have many separate causes that are unconnected with each other. Then finally, fourth, X may or may not be present with Y, but if X is present with Y, some other factor is also present. So X is a contributory cause in some causal consequence. X and Y lead to, X and Z lead to Y. That means X is a factor, Z is a factor, and those lead to Y. In another case, say for example W and Z, they also can lead to Y. And the example is again coronary heart disease, where coronary heart disease can be because of high lipid profile, can be because of high blood pressure. Both can cause chronic heart disease, or high blood pressure and age factor, or high blood pressure and diabetes mellitus can also lead to chronic heart disease or myocardial infarction. So where X may be present, X may not be present, but because of different causes are there, so it may seem that there is distortion in identification of the confounding effects of the confounding variable, but it is not the reason. The reason is that we have to find the sufficient cause for the causation of the disease to find out the prevention or the treatment of the disease. As we have discussed, four possibilities are there in the causal relationship: sufficient, necessary, neither, or both. So obviously in one case we saw that X is present and Y is present. In second case we saw X is present, X is present and X may cause the disease, and in second it may be sufficient factor to cause the disease, but it may be associated with someone else. In third factor it may not be present, but still disease is there. And in fourth factor it is not, the factor is not present and the disease is not present. So to cause variable X may cause Y, if it is necessary then it is present and cause the disease, and if in some cases it is present in first type and second type is not present,